Are you ready to get strong and fit? Well, grab your dumbbells and let's go. All right, killer bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. And that means that we are getting started with some arm circles with high knees. And yes, I meant to tell you to have your dumbbells completely out of the way. At least I thought about it before we really got going, right? You guys, welcome to the workout. I'm Pahla B, your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, we are all about making peace with your menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and moving in ways that feel like self-love. And whether or not you immediately think that today is going to feel like self-love, I promise you, this kind of weights workout is such a loving thing to do for you and, dare I say it, anybody who loves you. You guys, here comes my stern mama face. We're what, like 30 seconds into this workout and here I am lecturing you, but this is the thing. This kind of workout is so important. It is so crucial, so critical to your health and well-being, especially as we get older. Here's the thing about your body, my friends. Your body wants to be strong. It wants to be healthy. It wants to have muscles. Every single thing that you do, your body is trying to get better at doing. Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. However, at a certain point in time, aka menopause, your body has different parameters for how to get better and how to get stronger and what to do. And in fact, a lot of those parameters are, I'm gonna say it, slowing down. You probably noticed that, really specifically, you probably noticed that with your metabolism. You've probably noticed that your sleep is different, that your eating habits are different, that you just kind of feel different in your energy. Well, something else is happening too, really specifically. When we go through menopause, when we no longer have estrogen and we are no longer having our cycle, your body really starts decreasing its ability to create bones and muscles. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes, because let me say something nice and kind here. Because welcome to my home, welcome to today's workout, welcome to me giving you a stern lecture about how you really need to be doing strength training, because otherwise you're going to lose your bones and muscles, my friends. It is just a simple biological fact that as women age, we have a harder time hanging on to the muscle mass that we have spent our whole lives building and the bone mass, the bone density that we have spent our whole lives building. And the way to help yourself to bones and muscles is strength training. This is it, my friends. Any kind of load-bearing activity, let me be really clear, walking is actually really good for you too, cardio is good for you too, any kind of exercise is good, but resistance work is the best thing that you can do for your body at this age. Now, here's the dealio, because we are gonna get going. I'm still gonna be lecturing you, don't you worry about that, my friends. I've got plenty more where that came from. But let's go ahead and get moving. I've got the handy dandy gym boss sit for intervals of 1 minute. We are actually going through today's circuit 3 times, which we almost never do. But these are meant to be simple exercises that you can repeat and get a lot of benefit from. They're very, I'm gonna call them complex exercises, even though I just called them simple. They're simple to do because there's no transitions to the ground. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab our dumbbells. We're gonna not wake up Blossom. Nope, I woke her up. Sorry. Hi, baby. How are you, sissy? Okay, we're gonna get started with high knee front raises, which actually means that you're gonna have your hands down in front of you. One high knee is going to raise while the opposite hand, here we go, while the opposite hand does a front raise in front of you. So your palms are facing your body while we're doing this work, and you're really just bringing the dumbbell up to about shoulder height. Now today is not meant to be any kind of cardio. In fact, there's no cardio at all. It is all strength all the time. But don't let that fool you. Your heart rate is still going to come up to a nice moderate level. Today we'll count on all fronts, even if it's not cardio. It's still really good for you. I know that you think, lots of us think, that we really have to do cardio in order to lose weight. We have to burn calories. Let me tell you, first of all, that when it beeps, we're gonna go into deadlifts. There's no rest today, but don't worry about like hustling in between these exercises. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna think about having our core pulled in. We're gonna think about where our body is in space and time. If this is difficult for you to keep up with me, go slower, drop your weights. Make it easy on yourself to get through this work so that you can do it again. Not necessarily tomorrow, here we go with deadlifts, but regularly. Having dumbbells in your hands, which by the way, way, if you are following along with my 7-day series, you might have noticed that every single month in the 7 days that we work out together, I have dumbbells in your hands 3 times. 2 of them are moderate, and 1 of them is usually very light. We usually do some kind of walking with weights or cardio toning. All of them are excellent for your muscles and bones, and I do really encourage you to follow along with the week of workouts and repeat it over the course of the month rather than just picking your favorites, because I know that if I were to pick my favorite, well, nowadays, if I were to pick my favorite, it would definitely include strength training. But back in the day, when I first started working out, it was all cardio all the time. When it beeps again, we're gonna do curtsy press ups. And what that means is we're gonna come down into a curtsy lunge. If you don't want a curtsy lunge, you may absolutely feel free to simply kick. You do not ever have to squat or lunge, my friends. Weights are here on your shoulders. If you would like to, you can simply kick. I would prefer like an outside kick, like a side kick. Or you can come down in a curtsy lunge while raising one hand up over your head in a press up. Now, I'm gonna keep this nice and slow because curtsy lunges always bring my heart rate up. I'm keeping this moderate because I already told you that we're gonna do this circuit 3 times. So we're not trying to get a million of these done. The point of today's workout actually is really to be easy. And here's the thing about the word easy. It's not up to me to make the workout easy. A long time ago when I first became a fitness trainer, I really thought that it was all about, well, I mean, I still think it's all about me, but I thought that it was all about me choosing the right exercises, that I really kind of lived in fear of comments like, this was too hard for me. But here's the thing. Oh, hey, next up we're doing side raise, side kicks. We're gonna raise one hand out to the side while your opposite leg is kicking out to the opposite side. So palm is facing your body and then the palm is facing the ground. But I got very few comments about how it was too hard for me, but I worried about that all the time. And what I finally realized is that it doesn't matter what I do. There will be somebody for whom this workout is way too hard and somebody for whom this workout is way too easy. I can only do what I can do, and frankly, this workout is not way too easy for me, not by a long shot, but it is easy for me because A, I've been working out for a long time, and B, I chose all these exercises. You guys, I stacked the deck in my favor. I'm the one filming it. When it beeps again, we're doing slow swimming frogs, which means that we're gonna have the weights up over our head. When we bring them down, we're keeping our elbows super wide out to the side, and we're bringing up one high, wide knee out in an oblique crunch. The resting position of this one is, unfortunately, with your hands over your shoulders. So take this minute at a pace that feels like you can sustain. And if that means you're dropping your weights, drop your weights, my friends. My friends, the way to build muscle and bone density is not with one workout one time. It's repetition. It's why we're repeating these exercises today and why I'm really encouraging you to repeat this workout or something like it several times during the month. 2 or 3 times a week having some kind of resistance, some kind of dumbbells in your hands is the way to at least maintain your bones and muscles, and for some of us, even gain some. When it beeps again, we're doing a step back front punch, which I always want to call a step back fruit punch. But we do get to have our hands down. Thank goodness we're going to have them down at our shoulders. Well, first of all, I'm going to put them like a little bit way down. But right here about your shoulders, we're going to, I'm thinking about this, step back while doing a front punch. I'm trying really hard to go across my body because that way I really have to think about my balance, thinking about where my core is, standing up straight and tall, making sure that I'm moving with precision and care, not just fling and flying in your body anywhere it wants to go so that it looks approximately like what I'm doing, but making sure that you are paying attention to your balance, paying attention to what you can do, paying attention to your core strength. Because simply moving your body in the way that I'm moving my body isn't necessarily targeting the same muscles. Did you know, I tell you this somewhat frequently, but did you know that just moving your body doesn't automatically means that you are getting fit the way that I am getting fit? You guys, when it beeps again, we're doing that high knee front raise. This was the entire circuit. See, it was relatively simple, right? It wasn't too bad. Okay, high knee,
front raise. Opposite hand, opposite knee. Feet are about hip width apart or maybe a little bit closer. For me, I like to have them a little bit closer because otherwise I really lose my balance, or I sway to the side a lot when I bring up one high knee. Thinking about zipping those ribs up, pulling your belly button to your spine, tucking your tailbone a little bit. Whatever mnemonic device you need to think about having your core engaged totally works for me, my friend. My friends, when you are just moving your body the way that I am moving my body, you could be not toning the same muscles that I'm toning. When you really pay attention to your brain-body connection, which always makes me want to sing Rainbow Connection because one of you commented on that somewhere, and it makes me laugh every time. When it beeps again, we're doing deadlifts, by the way. But the brain-body connection, when you are intentionally pulling, for example, for that one, from the middle of your back, or with this one, intentionally pushing back with your hips and then pulling forward with your hips, engaging your glutes on purpose is very different from simply tipping forward, seeing where your torso gets you, kind of feeling the stretch in your hamstrings, but also kind of letting your lower back muscles do a lot of this work. When you ask your butt, from your brain, when your brain asks your butt to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze on the way back and then squeeze, squeeze, squeeze on the way forward, that's how you know you're getting the muscles that we're aiming for. My friends, you could, doing this exact same motion, even if it looks exactly like me, when it beeps again, we're doing that curtsy press up. Even if it looks on the outside exactly like the way I'm doing it, you might be, first of all, straining your lower back. Please don't strain your lower back. You might also be tensing up your shoulders, hunching your shoulders, even a slight amount. And you could be, well, for example, on this one with the curtsy press up, you might have your knee going over your toe a little bit too much. There are all kinds of little teeny tiny things that don't really show up in a big way that could actually be causing you to not get the results that you're looking for. And really, from this workout, the result that I would like you to work on first is the brain-body connection. Then we think about what good it's doing for our muscles and bones. Because when you are using big muscles, that is the point that I was getting to here. When you are using the big muscles of your body, the complex big muscle groups that we are moving right now. By the way, when it beeps again, we're doing side raise, side kicks. That is how we get the most benefit. Sometimes what happens, and this is something I notice when I'm working with people who are just learning how to work out, sometimes we're moving in like the big muscle way, but because we're not used to it, so side raise, I have to think about this, side raise, side kick. When you are not asking, for example, your glutes to work on the deadlift and you're using your lower back muscles are much smaller and they're not meant for that kind of work. You could injure yourself, not always a good feeling, my friends, but you could also be missing the benefit of those big muscles. When your big muscles work, they are pulling on big amounts of bone. When your muscles pull on your bone, by the way, that's how we gain bone density. When it beeps again, we're doing slow swimming frogs, which was intentionally kind of low on the list because I knew that one was gonna feel pretty tough. I've got the right amount for me of brain-body connection and coordination, and also over the head, doing some squats, doing some lunges kind of stuff today. We are working the big muscles in your body. It doesn't take a lot of work in order to get a lot of benefit. Okay, slow swimming frogs, hands up above your head. As your elbows come down wide, we're raising one leg out to the side. This one in particular, when you're raising your leg out to the side, you're gonna feel it in some of your small muscles. I mean, I feel this one, generally speaking, in like my inner and outer thighs and what I call the outer butt, which is relatively small. But when you are using your brain-body connection, you are also using those big muscles in your back, and you're engaging basically all of your hip girdle. Your entire hip area is involved in this motion. And of course, your abs and obliques are pulled in. Specifically, your abs are pulled in to stabilize your whole body. My friends, this exercise works every inch of your body. When it beeps again, we're doing that step back fruit punch. Not even gonna try and say it the right way because it's so much more fun to talk about a fruit punch which of course reminds me of being a child in the 70s. How's about a nice Hawaiian punch? You guys, do you do that too, where you just have the most random associations with words, and then you're on camera just talking about them with your closest friends who are hopefully more or less your same age and totally can picture that how's about a nice Hawaiian punch commercial from the 70s? You guys, this is round 2. We are done and dusted when it beeps again with round 2, which means that we're starting for the third and final round of the high knee front raises. You guys, the other great news, honestly, about doing strength work like this. First of all, have you noticed how sweaty you are? Even with moderate weights, my heart rate is up a little, my sweat rate is up plenty, and I'm noticing this work in my body. This work, so good for you. High knees, front raise, your hands are down. High knees, front raise, making sure that you're breathing. When you are using your big muscles, when you've got that brain-body connection and you're using the big muscles in a nice complex way, even though these exercises are meant to be easy and simple, that is when we are building muscle tone. You guys, when you build muscle tone, muscle is metabolically active, more metabolically active than other kinds of tissue in your body, meaning that will help you raise your BMR. Your BMR is your basal metabolic rate. That just means that you are burning calories while you are at rest. Having more muscle tone means that you are burning more calories all the time. Now, lots of us would like to think, and I do somewhat subscribe to this, that means it's easier to lose weight. It does. Here we go with deadlifts. It also means that you're going to be more hungry though. So it doesn't automatically mean like, oh, as soon as you have muscle tone, that the weight's just going to fall off of you. You need to feed your muscles the same way you feed anything that you do, or the way that you feed any kind of activity that you do. So paying attention to your hunger is part of the brain-body connection. It's part of what we're doing when we're getting fit and getting strong. We're thinking not just about denying ourselves or eating a certain number of calories no matter what. As you get fitter and stronger, your calorie needs will change. It means, in a nice way, that you could eat more and still lose weight because your basal metabolic rate has come up. Pay attention to that. If you are brand new with exercise, by the way, when it beeps again, we're doing those curtsy press ups or curtsy kicks, or excuse me, press up kicks, whichever one you'd like to do. If you are brand new to exercise, you might have been able to start off with a certain level of calories and it would have felt, perfectly fine. Like not hungry, felt like you were eating enough, felt like you were losing weight, getting results, having a great time, all that kind of stuff. And then you might notice as you get fitter, as you get stronger, as you exercise regularly, that you're hungrier, that it's a little bit harder to stick with those calories. My friends, if it is hard to stick with your calories because you're hungry, not just hard because of the mindset work that we need to do sometimes about being consistent and eating the right number of calories and all those kinds of things. I mean, there's mindset work, but then there's actual hunger work too. If you're hungry, please eat. Fuel your muscles. When it beeps again, we're doing a side raise, side kick. You guys, there's a lot that goes into being strong and fit and healthy and paying attention to your body. I know lots of us think that when we get there, side raise, side kick. Here we go, thinking about it. Side raise, side kick. I know lots of us think when we're watching a fitness instructor on TV or wherever you're watching that it's just so easy, that like, oh, she knows exactly what she's doing all the time and it's so easy for her. No, it's not. I have to think about these exercises. I have to think about my hunger. I have to think about my body. I put in a lot of thinking time to be as fit as I am. And I don't say that to discourage you. It's so worth it. I think back now on how I was when I was younger and how I didn't have any kind of brain-body connection at all. When it beeps again, we're doing slow swimming frogs for the third and final time. I think about how I was always so confused. I didn't know why I felt lousy. I didn't know why I didn't have energy. I didn't know why everything just felt so hard. And now that I've done the thinking, now now that I've really put in the time with my brain and my body. Here we go with those slow swimming frogs. Really thinking about where those elbows are, using those big muscles. If you feel it in your lower back, drop your weights, my friends. There's nothing to be gained except an injury from injuring yourself, from doing too much that's too difficult for you. Listen to the signals your body is sending you. And I mean that that's just life advice. When your body sends you a signal, there's a reason for it. Your body is telling you some important information every time you notice that, oh my gosh, my arms are shaky. Okay, then maybe it's time to drop your weights. Or my lower back is kind of twinging right now. Okay, time to drop your weights. When it beeps again, step back fruit punch for the third and final time. When you're hungry, it means you're hungry. It means you need fuel. You guys, loving your body, making peace with your menopausal body, finding a healthy weight, moving in ways that feel like love, all the things that we do around here, step back, fruit punch. They all require you to pay attention. It's a small requirement, but it's a big requirement. When you pay attention to what you're doing, how you're doing it, what you're getting out of it, what results you want, what results you're getting, all of that, it all adds up to being strong and fit and making this workout easy enough for you. Were you paying attention? What got tough? Could you do it with good form? Did you drop weights? Did you change what you were doing? All of the above are good answers. When you make the workout work for you, you are doing your best work in life. You guys, when it beeps again, we are done, but we are not finished. Of course we're not finished. I've got one final thing for us. We're going to have the weights right here at our shoulders, elbows pointing forward. We're doing alternating swinging knees to elbows. Okay, so your weights are actually literally resting on your shoulders. You're going to bring up one knee to its opposite elbow, its same elbow, and down. This is a little bit of balance work. It's a lot of abs and obliques work. I'd like you to think about it even more as balance work though than anything else. Not just swinging and getting that knee wherever it can go, but really moving with precision and care so that you've got a lot of hang time here. It doesn't matter if you're actually touching your elbows to your knees or your knees to your elbows. It matters that you're standing on one foot. That is another crucial, elemental skill that we work on around here because, again, as we are getting older, it's something that we lose. That balance skill doesn't improve by itself. We gotta work on it. And it's not something that you get to just work on sometimes and then, oh, we're good for the rest of your life. Nope. We work on it in a little way, a lot of times so that we can hang on to it for life. My gosh. Speaking of things we're hanging on to, it's not these weights anymore. Put them down, my friends. So let's cool it down. How good did that feel? You off? Nope, you're not off. Let me try that again. How good did that feel to work with weights today? Wasn't that lovely? Now, whether or not it actually felt easy is up to you. Hopefully it felt just right today so that, oh my gosh, so that you can come back tomorrow. You guys, tomorrow is June 7th. It's our 7th day in our 7-day series, and I have a super fun one for us, especially those of us who like cardio. You guys, go ahead, give yourself, let's open it up nice and wide, and then we'll give yourself a big hug and a pat on your surprisingly sweaty back, right? I know, you did such a good job today. Here on screen, I do have all the information you need about losing weight at 50 and beyond if you would like your daily reminder. I also have a nice walking cool down if you want a little bit of cardio. I know, I feel the same way, but a little bit of walking and a lot more stretching and cooling down. You guys, make sure you subscribe before you go, and I'll see you tomorrow.